What's up, everyone? It's Karthik with MoneyVest. Welcome on board for our market open live stream on this fine Tuesday morning as the market continues to surprise us to the upside with an incredibly relentless market is what we are witnessing right now. So this right here is the state of what we're seeing pre-market. So SPY is pushing up 9 basis points. So again, the broader markets are actually not that optimistic or not that positive right now. We're basically flat 10, 20, 30 basis points, but it's really the individual stocks that are just going absolutely crazy with Trilogy Metals, ticker symbol TMQ, is up over 254% after the US government took a stake in this company at about 10% stake here. And they are looking at more and more rare earth materials, rare earth metal companies to take stakes in as well. SoFi is pushing higher. Oscar is higher pre-market. IREN is absolutely crushing it. Pre-market is up another 9% on the back of a multi-year deal with NVIDIA in terms of its Blackwell GPUs as well. So we are doing incredibly well with, of course, this entire watch list here that I've created, which is labeled quote-unquote hot, which is the hottest retail YouTube names that, of course, are doing very well right now pre-market. So just give me 1 second here. All right, so let's get started here. Let's do this. Hope everyone is doing great. And yes, I'm back. Very, very happy to be doing this live stream once again to kind of answer a lot of questions and go over everything what's going on in the market as well. And Tesla, yes, Tesla is the one to watch also, as we are expecting some kind of news related to a potential mass market vehicle from Tesla. So again, obviously record deliveries coming in at just shy of 500,000 for the third quarter 2025, surpassing those estimates at over 443,000, fueled by rising demand for electric vehicles before the $7,500 federal tax credit as well. So, Tesla will launch a budget-friendly Model Y SUV on October 7th, priced under $30,000 with US EV tax credits, aiming to boost sales and market share as well. This, of course, is a very big catalyst for Tesla because I think it's really going to bring that domination once again, that leadership for Tesla at such a attractive price point. You're getting such an incredible piece of technology. And the maintenance is incredibly low. I mean, like I said in my previous updates and videos on Tesla as well, like I just came back from Boston, and my uncle and a lot of his friends, they all purchased the Tesla Model Y, and it cost them like $38,000 after the EV tax credits, and the maintenance is next to nothing. Like, it's quite literally nothing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to spend money on anything, and it is absolutely incredible. And of course, Archer Aviation. This is another stock that is definitely on the radar for many folks here, pushing higher over 17% yesterday. It's actually coming up to its resistance right now. So if you come over to the weekly chart, you'll notice two back-to-back very strong weeks. It's up 17% this week. It was up another 24% last week. And right now, of course, coming up to that resistance at almost $14, a little bit shy of $14. And that's also part of this YouTube retail watch list as well. By the way, if you want to get access to this watch list, I just published this on our Discord, sent the link, and you can pretty much access this entire watch list. And of course, you'll be able to keep track. I'll be updating this on an ongoing basis. And this will, of course, include for all the hottest, most trending, most traded stocks in the market as well. I'm going to actually add TMQ to this list as well, because pre-market is just absolutely crushing it. So coming over to some of the things that I mentioned earlier. So IREN, of course, announcing it has signed an additional multi-year cloud services contracts with leading AI companies for NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs. So this right here is, of course, the entire story, after which IREN took off another 9%, getting up to new all-time highs, and $500 million AI cloud annual recurring revenue from 23,000 GPUs on track for Q1 2026. Again, I did a video on them just a few days ago, about a week ago, and this is just a company which is at the right time, at the right place, and it's just going crazy right now. It's up over 900, almost 1,000%. in the last few months here. Now, this right here is also an interesting stock. Breaking Canadian minerals explorer, Trilogy Metals, ticker TMQ, jumping over 168%. It was up 168% back when I tweeted this. That was 2 hours ago in pre-market trading. And of course, shortly after the White House said it was going to take a 10% stake in the Canadian company. Of course, this right here is the source from the White House themselves that came out earlier today. If you scroll down a little bit, it says right here, in addition, the U.S. government is announcing partnership with Trilogy Metals. I'm just going to listen to how you actually say this, just so I don't butcher the name of the company. Trilogy. Okay, perfect. Investing $35.6 million to support mining exploration in Alaska's Ambler Mining District. And this investment makes the U.S. government a 10% shareholder in this company, including for warrants to purchase an additional 7.5% of the company. So I did some math on the 17.5% overall stake, and we just don't know what the warrants are going to be exercised at. But I think this was a public information from other sources I was able to find. And so the blended cost basis for the U.S. government in this company is going to be closer to $250. Okay, that's where they actually bought the shares for this stock. And right now, of course, they have more than doubled, in fact, almost tripled their investment in this stock already on this news, since the stock is up over 251%. It's a very, very small cap company, but after this rally, it's going to open close to $1 billion in market cap with absolutely nothing to show for, because we have no revenues, only losses for this business. And that's really the essence of this market right now, is that everything is pumping hard on the back of these partnerships and artificial intelligence and just all of this, right? We're seeing a lot of euphoria, a lot of greed. Now, SoFi also pushing higher. So the Trump administration weighing in on selling parts of the $1.6 trillion federal student loan portfolio. So this was one of the catalysts that came out earlier that obviously resulted in SoFi also pushing higher. So Trump administration officials are exploring options to sell off parts of the federal government's $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio to the private market. According to the people familiar with the matter, and the discussions have taken place among senior education department and treasury department officials. And this would be focused on selling high-performing portions of the government's massive portfolio of student debt, which is owed by over 45 million Americans. And as a result, SoFi, which obviously very much depends on student loans, refinancing, interest rates, pushing higher a little bit pre-market, right? So we're getting up to market's getting a little bit of a pump right now, but SoFi is up over 4%, getting back up to over 27, almost $28. I even tweeted, let's go SoFi, time to recapture the $30 range. And I did end up actually picking up some shares of SoFi in the low 20s, right? $26, $25, I think, is when I last picked up SoFi. Oscar pushing up over 8% higher for pre-market. It is right now pushing up over 5%, so giving back on some of those gains, but trading back up to over $23 after President Donald Trump suggesting that he's open to extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies as part of the deal to end the government shutdown as well. So that also came out earlier today, and as a result, we're seeing a lot of that momentum for Oscar Health as well. So that's where we're at in this market right now, with lots of stocks pumping hard, a lot of momentum coming in, very, very strong for these names. And then I'm gonna come over to the chat. I'm gonna answer every question. So definitely let me know if you have any questions. We'll talk a little bit about every stock, technicals, fundamentals. We'll try to cover as much as possible, and then we'll take a look at the market. We'll take a look at this crazy market that continues to rip higher. Tesla dropping pre-market. We'll take a look at that here, as Model Y, a fresh, new mass market vehicle, is potentially going to be launched here, which is going to be great news for Tesla and for all the investors as well as consumers as well, as they're going to have access to a very, very affordable, high-quality vehicle, in my opinion. Jeremy, I'm too old to know what a Discord even is. Well, you're in our Discord, right? I think you are, Jeremy. 8Co, ORBS made me 10K. That's incredible. Yes, I think I've heard of that stock as well. It's been going crazy. 34% higher yesterday, 12% higher pre-market right now. earlier in September, it was up like 3,000% in one single day. But then, of course, stocks can be incredibly volatile. I mean, just take a look at this 90% sell off from its high of $81. It dropped all the way down to $7. And that's exactly why I think it's so important to be very, very careful with these kind of stocks here that are trading on a lot of momentum. You just want to make sure that you understand that there's a lot of risk involved with a lot of these momentum stocks here. Okay, BMNR pushing up another 2.8%. So very, very nice move to the upside as crypto is also showing signs of life again. We got Bitcoin trading at all-time highs over 125,000. Then we, of course, got Ethereum trading back up to over 4,500. So if you come over to crypto, all the way down here, where do we go? Right here. So crypto, we got Ether trading back up to over 4,700 now. So very nice move, up over 1%. And of course, getting up to those resistance levels at 47, 4,800 for crypto as well, for Ethereum. And of course, Bitcoin trading at all-time highs. And as a result, a lot of these crypto stocks, including BMNR, up 11% yesterday, up another 2.8, almost 3%. Pre-market right now, we got CleanSpark that's been on an insane rally from early September. It's up over 106%. We got Riot from its lows of $10, now trading at over 21, so more than doubled. Got Ethereum ETF that I've been trading as part of the options portfolio, up over 22% since the last couple weeks here. Last week of September all the way through now. Same with BITX. This is actually a position that I'm very, very excited about over the long term because I think there's a lot of speculation that Bitcoin could get up to over $1 million or possibly even more. And so BITX is going to be one of those positions that I continue to build out a little bit more and add more shares into this position as well. So yeah, that's where we're at with this market. How is everybody doing? Let me know. How is everybody doing here? Mo, Karthik, nice talking to you last week. And my question is, do you advise taking shares now or trading till a pullback? Is there an ETF zone play macro? So with regards to, it was very nice talking to you too. Again, if you want to book a call with me just to kind of learn about our community, what it is that we do on a regular basis, I can kind of show you around our Discord, our website, everything. Just email me at admin@moneyvest.com. I'm more than happy to schedule a call with you during market open hours. Since I'm back now, I'm going to be all in on back-to-back meetings, kind of helping as much as possible. But to answer your question, Mo, do you advise taking shares now or trading till a pullback? Could you clarify a little bit on what that question actually means? Do you advise taking shares now, meaning do you advise on selling right now, or trading till a pullback, or is this an ETF zone play? Yeah, exactly. Like, what is exactly the question there? I'm having a hard time really understanding what is it that you're asking. So if you could be a bit more clear, I can maybe share my thoughts and analysis with you. Okay, looking like Oscar rolls today. Did not think 24 would breach so soon. Yeah, I've got the $20 call that I'm trying to get out of now. I just want to really roll that option a little bit further. Let's say $20 to $23. Should have already done that yesterday, maybe. It was up 3%, but then again, I was just traveling over the last couple of days here, so just got in. And now we're already at over 23, right? Almost 24. So, I mean, this is the entire technical breakdown, and, I am going to plan to roll here, but we're also coming up to that resistance for Oscar, right? So this right here is the resistance where we're getting up to now, where we have previously gotten rejected for Oscar, right? So this is a level around $22 to $24. And so it's going to be quite interesting whether we get rejected on the day today or we get a breakout above this level. So that's what I'm going to be watching. If you're getting any kind of a pullback, then yes, I would be planning on rolling those options very soon. Can we discuss stop losses for some of these stocks? Yes, absolutely. I think it's really important to have stop losses in place for a lot of this momentum that we're seeing in the market, for a lot of the hot watch list here, which is, all these stocks right here, which are trading on momentum. You really want to set up some stop losses, whether it's a mental stop loss. Now, look, I don't recommend hard stop losses. That's also in my technical analysis and trading courses, like I've always mentioned, to not have hard stop losses because market makers can actually see your orders and you're offering liquidity to them. And once they see the order, you might have experienced this yourself. You'll get pulled out of your position, and then of course the stock will rally and rip back higher. And those are those knee-jerk reactions. A lot of these wicks are formed because market makers are going out there to grab your order and get you out, and then of course rip back higher. So a lot of this, fake manipulation happens, and so as a result, I don't recommend putting an actual stop loss in place, or at least having a mental stop loss that you know exactly what price point you want to get out. Now, if you do want to sort of play on that momentum and you want to lock in those gains as the stock is moving higher, I think a trailing stop loss is the better approach. Yes, you've got a higher chance of getting executed, but at least you're locking in profit and you're kind of avoiding some of those potential losses if the stock reverses fairly quickly, right? Because a lot of these are just moving higher on a lot of that euphoria and greed and momentum. So you want to be very, very careful. This is the kind of market environment where it reminds us very much of 2020, 2021, where almost everything you throw money at is working, right? It's just like you take a list of all the stocks out there and you put them, you kind of put all their names in a bowl and you pick whatever, and whatever stock comes up is making money right now. So it's just one of those market environments that requires caution. And I know it's not what everybody wants to hear because everyone's making money, everyone's having a good time. And so nobody wants to hear about the party being over. So that's all I'm going to say, is just to be careful. As Warren Buffett says, it's when the tide runs out, we find out who's been swimming naked. So you definitely don't want to be caught naked in this market. Some of Warren Buffett's quotes are the best. Like, those are the OG quotes. Okay, should I short QQQs right now in hopes of a pullback? So first things first, hope is not a strategy, right? I would never trade or invest based on hope. If you have a thesis around the NASDAQ 100 and why you think shorting is the right approach, apply that instead of hoping for a pullback, because statistically speaking, markets tend to move higher way more than they actually sell off. So you'd be caught off sides if the markets continue to grind higher. And I've seen so many people burn out trying to short something that is aggressively against them, right? In terms of that momentum is always your friend, right? So as the saying goes, trend is your friend. So you never want to be trading against the trend. And so right now we don't have any confirmation, right? If anything, we have more upside. Markets continue to grind higher. And so as a result, there's no confirmation as to why you would want to short this market. Now, the pullback could happen today. The pullback could happen next week. The pullback could happen next year. Nobody really knows. We know it's going to happen. We just don't know when it's going to happen. And that's the beauty of the market. But on the flip side, if you are going long, then yes, that's a more predictable and a higher probability trade than as opposed to going short on something that you hope is going to correct itself. It will. We just don't know when. So hopefully that makes sense. Meta on the 4-hour chart, boss. Let's do this. Meta, actually, I shared this in our Discord earlier today. I think it's starting to look very attractive right now. It's been selling off. There's two stocks that I think everyone can consider. One of them is Meta. The other one's Amazon. They've both been underperformers among Magnificent Seven. I mean, Amazon is year to date basically flat. It's down 0.5%. Meta, on the other hand, might be doing a little bit better. Year to date, it is up 21%, significantly better. But of course, in recent weeks, it's been selling off down over 10, 11%. And as a result, it is, if you come over to market concentration or market snapshot here. So what you'll notice is that we are down a little bit over 10% from all-time highs. So among all Magnificent Seven, Meta is one that is in a correction. So is Broadcom. Even Tesla's not in a correction anymore. At one point, it was in a full-blown bear market. It's now only down 7% from all-time highs of $488. So very, very close to all-time highs. Tesla is, and I think you could easily take out the all-time high before the end of the year, but I really don't want it to take out 500. I want it to be between 490 and 500 before the end of the year. If it gets up to over 500, then we've got a little bit of a rolling problem on our hands. NVIDIA in a dip. We got Microsoft in a dip. Apple's in a dip. Apple's done a really good job recovering. It was the worst performing Magnificent Seven stock for most of the year. And I think is actually positive now for the year. So year to date, Apple is now up over 3%. So still underperforming the market, but it's actually positive. Unlike Amazon, which is down almost 9%. So Amazon and Meta are two that I would consider as potential swing opportunities here, given how much they've sold off, and the fact that they're trading down to a pretty decent support. So I marked out this area of green rectangle, this area of demand, where I do believe Meta's got a pretty strong support there. Resistance is going to stay put at 740s all the way up to 795. So we do have a pretty decent upside of about 9 to 10% if it were to move back higher here. And then, of course, the support stays put around 690 to 670. On the 4-hour chart, we're getting a little bit of that confirmation as we're starting to see the RSI, MACD, L3 banker oscillator, everything that's oversold here starting to kind of turn back up. And this has also been a pretty strong area of accumulation for Meta platforms. Same thing with Amazon as it continues to consolidate sideways. Now with Amazon, the thing also is that we might be experiencing some kind of a bear flag as well, as it was selling off prior to forming this consolidation. So one could argue that this was a sell-off, a pull, getting a bit of a bear flag, and then of course a bigger breakdown is possible, which again I wouldn't argue with that. And support level is going to stay at a 210 or 211 next, which could be a better entry for Amazon. So keep a close eye on this one as well as it continues to consolidate. And target's going to be back up to 235. So we're talking about an upside of close to 6-7%. Again, nothing crazy, but something to keep on your watch list. Okay, so we covered Meta, Amazon. Do you think Meta and Amazon can recover this week? Again, hard to say on a weekly basis because, one thing we don't like to do here is make predictions, but rather understand the risk-reward ratios for individual stocks for the entire market as a whole. And that's exactly what my job is, to really identify opportunities that present the highest, best quality risk-reward ratio, and not try to predict what's going to happen today or tomorrow or this week, next week. Because to be honest, nobody really has any idea. Nobody has really any clue as to where prices are going to move. But if the risk reward makes sense, then it makes sense. Then it's favorable. It's good. What the markets are going to do is anybody's guess. So I am actually, yesterday I was considering a buy right on IREN. I was looking at buying it at 56, 55. It dropped down to 55, I think, 53 actually. So I was thinking about picking it up at 55. But I just couldn't see myself picking it at a level where the weekly RSI was at over 92. I just couldn't find the courage to buy something which is like 8 weeks of green. Might be more than that, not even 8 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is the 10th week. 10th week of green for IREN. RSI is 92, so I just kind of felt like I'd be chasing this stock all the way up there. And so as a result, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna wait a little bit more. But I just couldn't. With the RSI as it was, like weekly and monthly was just way too overstretched, way too overbought for my liking. I mean, monthly is at 85 right now, so I mean this is a parabolic run up. So, yeah, I mean, what can you do? I've got some cash sitting on the sideline, so I'm ready with a little bit of cash. UiPath and NAK. Let's take a look at NAK here. Northern Dynasty up over 34%. What is going on in this market? I bet if I start asking, I bet you guys are going to share tickers that are just going up like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%, just like that in pre-market trading. What is going on in this market? Again, another energy, minerals, metals, commodities have just absolutely crushed it this year. I mean, commodities are just doing incredible. So for this one, I mean, I would say resistance up to 240. I would say 240 is the target for this NAK. And then keep a close eye on a support at close to $1.20 on the daily time frame. Again, take a look at this. Incredibly overbought. Another support is going to stay put, $1.20 to $1.25 for NAK. Party time. Okay, so Mario, how are you so handsome and good? Okay. Well, that is a question. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I don't know what to say, man. But thanks. AppLovin and UiPath. Let's take a look at UiPath here. So a lot of consolidation sideways on the weekly time frame. It's been moving sideways here. We've got a very strong resistance around the $15 to $16 range. So that right there inside this red rectangle is where that resistance is. And of course, support level is going to stay put at 1040. So again, it's one of those trader's paradise stocks as it recovers 50 to 60%. And when it drops like 30 to 40%. So it's been pretty much range bound since May 2024, as it's got a very strong resistance here and a pretty decent support here, and it's right now coming back up to that resistance at the moment. Let's take a look at AppLovin here. And AppLovin also has been one of the best performing stocks 2025, up over 77%. And if you come over to the daily time frame, we've got a pretty significant sell-off yesterday, and I would put down a support where, in fact, it got bought up briefly in the 520s. Yesterday's low was around 545, so that would be that support level in case it drops further, and then another support closer to 466 for AppLovin. And again, very, very overbought, so it was only a matter of time, right? I mean, when stocks get stretched to the upside, it's only a matter of time before some kind of profit taking begins, and falls after report of SEC probe over data collection practices. So again, the catalyst could be anything. In this case, it's an SEC probe, but when the stock gets extremely overbought, it's only a matter of time before there is some kind of profit taking. And in AppLovin's case, it was the SEC probe, and of course, 525 is going to be that support level to watch. Okay, let's see. Stefan, please correction on 14th October, my birthday, so happy birthday in advance. Stefan, thoughts on the Canadian market? I don't really follow the Canadian market as much. I think there's some stocks worth looking at in the Canadian market, but I think overall, I would say like the US, of course, some European markets, Asian markets, I mean, those are really highly liquid and well-established markets to look at. And of course, the US continues to dominate in terms of trading volume, the market caps, clear leadership and domination as well. Alistair, of course, I know, man. Alice Capital here. I know all of you guys. I know your YouTube names and I know your Discord names, so you don't have to mention it. I know exactly with the profile pictures as well as the names. I know exactly who I'm talking to. So that's why I love our communities, because it's a very, very, it feels personal, when I'm talking to everybody, because I know exactly who it is, and the fact that I can meet with you guys as well, I can put a face to the name and build that connection long term. So, okay, let's see. Adit, thoughts on SoundHound AI? So I think the ticker symbol is SOUN for this one. It's also been on a massive rally and run up here from its lows of around 660s. Getting up to over $18, almost a 200% gain. If you come over to the weekly time frame, we do have a very narrow uptrend of higher highs and higher lows. So this right here is what I would put down as a higher high and higher low pattern. Again, it's been parabolic, and then of course coming right back down and slowly and steadily moving back up here. Resistance now is going to stay roughly at $25. So that would be a resistance. And I would put down a support closer to around 1275 to 1280. So anything around this green rectangle here is going to be that support for SoundHound AI. So very nice uptrend. If it does roll over, so if you do see any kind of a pullback here, I would watch that support at around 1275 to $13 for this stock. Yep, if I was asking if you think it's advisable to start buying stocks now at all-time highs, or shall I continue swing trading till there is a pullback? So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to individual stocks, I think it's more of a discussion of where the valuation is, where you feel comfortable buying that stock. And to give you a very simple example, like, if I were going out there to buy something, obviously I would not be looking at IREN, I would not be looking at BMNR, I would not be looking at stocks like Tesla or even Nvidia for that matter. But I would be looking at maybe companies like Meta or Amazon, right? That have sold off a little bit. They're underperforming over the last couple of weeks. Amazon, of course, underperforming the entire year. Still potential out there. And then a lot of other companies that still have more room for upside. Again, it really boils down to individual stock valuations, where the buy targets are, where the intrinsic value is. And so you really want to avoid stocks that are already trading at a premium, that have ran up so much and trading at all-time highs, but really just focus on pockets of the market that still give you that opportunity. When it comes to swing trading, this is a market that you want to be participating. You want to definitely be trading and taking advantage of the momentum, but you also don't want to overstay your welcome. You want to know when to exit, when to take profits, and you really want to distinguish between a long-term investment versus a swing trade and a momentum trade. Don't let your swing trade turn into a long-term investment. Know exactly when to get out. And also don't let your long-term plays turn into swing trades. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of stocks that are up like 100, 200%, but I know the temptation to take the profits, to be like, okay, this is I got like AMD, for example, right? Had a 32% rally yesterday. I mean, year to date, the stock is up over 65%, but a lot of these are multi-year, super long-term plays. I mean, think about how many 100% gains Amazon's given us over the last 20 years, how many 100% gains Nvidia and Tesla has given us over the last 10 to 15 years. And if every 100% gain was sold, you would never compound 5x or 10x or 20x over the long term. So really, really important to keep that distinction. Okay, this is my long term. This is what I believe in. This could be a multi-bagger. And then these are my swing trades. These are my momentum trades, or these are my options trades that I really want to get in, get out, because they're trading on momentum. So having that understanding, I think, is really going to help you kind of make that distinction and not let one thing turn into something else. Okay, Karthik, I have a covered call, 375, expiring in October 10th or October 10th, is it? This Friday? Premium $50 for Tesla. I don't want to keep rolling out, but I'm very, very in the money. I feel like I'm stuck. If you are October 10th, I think you can roll it out easily, because you're like this Friday. 375 is my options chain isn't loading. We got 10 more minutes until market opens here. Let me see if I can pull up the options.io. All right, let's do this. I'm going to take a look at what the price is for that option, just to get an idea. So for this Friday, we're looking at 375 call, which is going to be right here. And that's trading for around $78, right? So you want to find something that's going to be moving up the strike, maybe 380, maybe 385. And then that's also going to be paying you over 79, call it almost $80 is what it's going to be paying you in order to get a net credit. So let's just look at November 7th, which is going to be my birthday. Let's try and do that. And then maybe, let's just do that. So 375 it's not updating. Oh, there we go, apply. Okay, so if you come down 375, I'll have to look at the options chain over on, it's not applying here for some reason. There we go. Now I think it shows up. 375, so there we go. If you do move up to 380 for November 7th, you can look at $82, $83. It's going to give you a little bit of a net credit. It's going to roll it out to about a month, and you can unlock another $5 of capital gains while also collecting a little bit of net credit. If you go out to, let's say, towards the end of this year, let's say December 19th, and if you scroll up a little bit and we go up to 390, 395, even 400 is what you could roll up to and get almost $80 in premium. So that's going to be a little bit of a net credit while rolling up $25 in strike. So something you can definitely consider. What do you think about Netflix? I mean, technical analysis and valuation. So Netflix, I'm kind of mixed. I've been seeing a lot of cancellations for Netflix in terms of their subscription. I think the support level is strong at 1145, 1140. I think it's been consolidating sideways for quite some time now. And it does make for a decent potential swing trade here. And so resistance is going to be 1230 to as much as 1260 for Netflix. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation, and support level is going to sit at 1144. So fundamentally, I think it's priced a little bit more expensive. 49 times earnings, 12 times cash sales, and over 55 times cash flow. So that, of course, is a little bit of an expensive valuation for Netflix, I would say. All right, gold. Gold has been hitting all-time highs pretty much every single day. As I said earlier, commodities and materials, they've all been doing incredibly well this year. Gold is almost at $4,000 per ounce. How incredible is that? Almost $4,000 per ounce. Insane. Absolutely insane. Are we going to see 4,000 today for gold? Silver is just shy of $49 per ounce here, but gold is amazing. It's great to see that, because I've actually done a lot of videos on gold. Lot of videos on gold. Talking about buying this so many times, and it's been one of the best performing assets in 2025. It's up a little bit over 51% from October 2022. This thing is up over 145%. So if you look at the gold market, so if you look at the real world assets, gold is $27 trillion market, right? Incredible. 27. Hope I got that right. So million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, trillion, 10 trillion. Yeah, so 26, almost $27 trillion. And then, of course, if you compare that to Bitcoin, which is just sitting shy of $2.5 trillion. So it's about 10%, almost 10% of the market of gold. All right, thoughts on Lululemon? Let's take a quick look. Oh, actually, yeah, Lululemon, we had a trade idea. It's just hovering around 174, 175 last couple of weeks here. I think 207 is still possible for Lululemon. I think that would still be the target, and a strong support at 165, 164 for Lululemon. Just turn on what's up with that timer. What timer? Is this the timer? This is just a clock. It's a normal clock. Any thoughts on the Archer Tesla announcement today? Robotaxi in the air. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Archer kind of showcasing a lot of those taxis, air taxis, which was very, very interesting. Anthony, your channel should be called Karthik. No, I think MoneyVest is good. I think MoneyVest is it's our community, so I don't want the channel to be named after me. I want it to be named after all of us, which is what represents the community, and that's what MoneyVest is. I have money ready to go when we get red days in the market. I will sell puts. Are you selling any put options at the minute, Caddy? So not at the moment. I am looking for opportunities. Like I did sell some at BITX. I got assigned. I think BITX was a pretty good CSP, getting assigned at $51. I mean, if I could go back 1 week, I would sell, instead of 2, I would sell like 10 of them, because that was a pretty good assignment right there at $51. And then, of course, since then, stock's up like 31% in just like 4 or 5 days. So it's really kind of finding those opportunities where the stock comes down to a support. I was going to consider SoFi at around $24 as well, but then, of course, it recovered back higher, up 7% in the last couple of days. And so we're looking at $30 as the next target and resistance once again. So if we get any kind of selling pressure, if you get a little bit of a pullback, then yes, I would be looking at selling puts. Let's see. DVLT is moving in pre-market, and we'll take a look at NEO as well. So DVLT, we got Data Vault, 55% yes. See, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of these $300, $400, $500 million companies Oh, 730% since the beginning of September. What is this market? Almost 1,000% now since the beginning of September. Insane. Absolutely insane. I'm going to add this to the watch list of hot stocks. Yeah, Webull is coming down to that support. What do you think about BMNR? What's the fair value? So BMNR, again, my target is going to be $72 next, since we are starting to break up 64, $65. So next target is going to be $72 for BMNR. We are going to cover Webull. So let's take a look at Bull here. And yes, it's coming back down to that support. It's going to be 1270. So this could be one of those stocks that I actually sell a put on. This could be a potential idea where I could see myself maybe selling some puts down here in the support around the 1270 to 1250 level, maybe even down at low 12s as a potential strike to accumulate Webull. So let's see. Yeah, thanks, Karthik. It's not my birthday. Actually, it is going to be my birthday next month. But yeah, we were wishing birthday to Stefan earlier. So yeah, Vault, I already covered that on Netflix. SoFi is where I want to sell because I don't mind getting assigned if the stock price is around 24. Where would you sell? I put maybe 20 or higher. Yeah, so I think $24 is going to be that level to watch. You look like Unver. I think a couple of you already told me like I look like. Do you guys see the resemblance? Like, really? This guy? I know it's his videos are actually very funny. Like, I've seen a lot of his videos on Instagram, but a lot of people have told me like I look like him. I don't see it. Do I? Do I look like him? I don't know. But no, he is super funny. I've seen a lot of his videos. Okay, your brother? Yeah, no. Long lost cousin. I don't see it. I think maybe the beard. If I didn't have the beard, then there's no chance. All right, so market's gonna open in about a minute here, everyone. Let's do this quick round on the market here. S&P 500 is up 15 basis points. We got QQQs pushing higher, up over 23 basis points. Looks like another day, another all-time high. Oscar's up 5.3. And then we've got, of course, TMQ up over 245% here. SoFi is pushing up 2.8. Tesla is slightly down. We're going to keep NVIDIA here. We're going to put Oscar just for the time being, and we'll put SoFi over here as well. So Palantir is flat at the open, and we'll see how all these hot stocks, the watch list, is going to do on the day today. As Archer Aviation, IREN's up 4%. Market is indeed open. That Oklo up 2%. IONQ up 2%. Rigetti Computing is up over 6%. So lots of momentum coming in for a lot of these names, a lot of these stocks. Here we go. Tesla 445. NVIDIA's up 40 basis points. We got SoFi up almost 3%. Palantir is flat at the moment. So hope you all enjoy this video and live stream, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Palantir moving higher. Are we going to see all-time highs today? That's the real question. 190 is within striking distance, and gold also very close to all-time highs on the day so far. So I'm going to jump into our Discord, answer any questions there, send out some updates and alerts, waiting for Tesla's announcement if there is going to be any. And once again, thank you so much for joining, everyone. Hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday. Link's going to be down below if you're interested in joining us. And once again, thank you. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning for another live.